Hello, I'm Lonnie.
I'm Amberlicious.
Turn that over there towards you a little bit. We're
Okay.
Untitled Nerd Network. Oh my god, it's the Spoiling Dead.
It is the Spoiling
For the
Dead.
first time in 2 years.
Oh my
It really has
God,
been 2
it
years.
has been.
So, oh wow. Yeah. So, like, I actually had to pay attention during the little recap at the beginning of the episode. This is the season 10 premiere.
Mm-hmm.
We are.
Judith gives the recap.
Oh, yeah.
I love that.
Yes. I kind of wonder if they'll do that in the next one. But
Okay.
but yeah, like all as of this recording, all 16 episodes so far of season 10 have aired, and this coming Sunday, season they decided during the pandemic
Mm-hmm.
to, instead of like moving ahead with the next episodes for season 11, adding 6 extra episodes to season 10.
Oh.
And so
Okay.
this coming Sunday, the season 10 episode 17, the first of those 6 episodes, is gonna air.
Okay.
And so that's where I'm like, okay, we're starting to pick up new episodes. It's time to catch up. So we're gonna do a couple here and there, and then hopefully be done. Like all the other reviews except for WandaVision are kind of going on hiatus right now.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm wanting to catch completely up with Walking Dead. That way we're caught up. God, like 2 years ago when we first watched this, or when we last watched, the Whispers had really kind of sent a message and
Oh yeah.
set up
Wasn't
the
an emotional ending.
yeah, and then they ended up like out in the snow, and I mean it was some
People's
intense
heads
stuff.
were on sticks.
Oh yeah, and I
You know?
remember I was like, I knew that scene was coming, and it was just a matter of who was gonna
Yeah.
get.
And it was Carol's boy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and everybody's still dealing with a lot of that. Everybody's still dealing with Rick being gone.
Yeah. Look,
Even,
that was a very traumatic thing for them to go through. I was sitting there thinking that during this episode because you watch them kill the zombies. You know, they start off with battling zombies.
yeah,
They're practicing at the beginning.
that was cool.
They've made shields. Everybody's learned how to use a weapon. And they were all practicing on the ocean side. But if I had been through a traumatic event like they went through, where people were wearing the skins of the walkers, and you didn't know who was a walker and who was not, I probably would have had a mental breakdown and lost my mind. Like they would have had to put me with Negan picking tomatoes or something, and that would be. That's where I would be. I wouldn't be able to. I wouldn't be able to cope with reality. I would not.
It's funny that you mentioned Negan, because Negan is right at home sitting in the jail cell now.
He sure is. He's
'Cause-
like, fuck this shit. Like,
Yeah,
that is exactly what he is like.
He sees Negan, for any faults he may have, is still the man can read people better
He
than
does read
anybody.
people very well.
He's a natural leader. He can tell when people are lying to him. He can
Mhm.
read faces, and he can sense the atmosphere of a crowd. You know, he's a very, very social person that can figure stuff out. And his time in this episode was very short, but very impactful. Like whenever he
Yes.
shows up, he does make an impact, and he
Yeah.
is basically letting them know, hey, you know, I'm just going to hang out in the jail cell. I don't want to be out, because the more I'm out, the more people are going to be looking at me like I'm the bad guy, because people are just freaking out and they want
Right.
somebody to blame.
Yeah, and that's what it is. And he's right. He's like, right now, I'm a part of y'all, so
Yeah.
to speak. But when push comes to shove, I'll be the first one to be accused of them.
Yeah.
And that's true. That's very true. You know, because he did some shit too. You know?
A little bit.
He did some shit that was traumatic too, and that's hard to let go.
He was the behind the scenes antagonist of the second half of season 6,
Yeah.
all of season 7,
Uh-huh.
and all of season 8. It was like season 7 was spent under Negan's thumb.
Yep.
And season 8 was spent fighting Negan. And that went on for 2 full seasons. And a lot of people died because of him, and a lot of people lost family members, friends. He was directly responsible. He killed Abraham. He killed Glenn. I mean, holy crap. I mean, in a way, you know, I'm sure a lot of people blame him for Carl dying, you know.
Yeah.
But, I mean, holy crap, you know. It's like...
Right. But he you know, but he's still aware of what's going on, and, you know, he does know how to manage people, and he asked to speak with Gabriel.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, I'm just telling you, you might want to just, like, sugarcoat this a little bit, basically. And, of course, Gabriel, being the priest he is, you want me to lie? And he's like, sometimes you have to. And he's not wrong. Like, he's really not, just to keep people from, like, freaking out or something, keep them calm. You got to tell them a little white lie, or make it sound not as bad as what it is.
It's like, there was a George Carlin quote that I saw not long ago where he said, an individual person is amazing. A person can have ideas, a person can be creative, a person can show you all of the good that there is. But once it goes from person to people, it starts getting diluted, and people begin to be stupid. You know, it's like a person is okay, but once you get into people, it's you know, it leaves something to be desired. And so that's kind of the deal here. It's like, yeah, you know, you're a person here and there, but once you get all these people chatting with each other, and you know, especially in a zombie apocalypse with, I mean, they have a government, they have a council, they have rules, they have laws, they have a jail.
Even Michonne said herself, you know, fear will divide us again.
Yeah.
And it's true. That's true now, you know.
Yeah.
That's not even just a zombie apocalypse thing. She's right. You know, if the people get scared, fear divides people.
Yep. That is. It's a really good little social commentary there. The episode is called Lines We Cross. And the big thing here, everybody is just tiptoeing around that border. Nobody wants to cross that border because they know that it's going to start another war. Right. It's going to cause some issues. The Whisperers are easily the most dangerous. Like Negan, you know, everybody was pretty sure they could fight back against Negan. You know, screw
they
Negan,
knew if they teamed up enough.
Yeah, we'll fight back against
people off his side, and that's true.
Yeah, but you've never seen them just tiptoe like they do around the Whisperers.
Well, it's really because of their strategy of dressing as the dead.
That, and the fact that they have that gigantic, like 50,000 strong horde of zombies just ready to come bust down the walls if they ever need to. And they mentioned that earlier in the episode. You know, Daryl and Carol were talking to each other, which was a fun exchange we'll get to in a second. But that, you know, basically was like, hey, they have a nuclear weapon, basically. You know, they can, you know, do whatever they want with that horde of zombies. So, but yeah, on to them. That was really neat, you know, just to see them
reconnect. He literally calls her his best friend.
Yeah, that's one of the very few times you see Daryl open up. About the only time he's ever opened up besides with Carol. You know, he's done that a few times with her. Was with Beth, and then it was like right after they had their little moment, she died. So it's like, you know, he's always been really iffy about getting close with people
because they seem to kind of disappear.
Yeah,
on him. He lost his brother.
Yeah.
And then he lost Beth, and then Carol
has been very detached.
Yes, because she has to be. She has to be detached from the situation, or she will lose her mind. Because it's like when her and Daryl were talking, she said, because she asked him, "Do you ever wonder if this is it? We find people and then we fight people." And then she's like, "I feel like sometimes," or he said, "I feel like sometimes we're just waiting on the next fight."
Yeah.
And she said, it's been that way all our lives. And she's not wrong. You know, she was in an abusive relationship with her husband. So I'm sure it was like that.
Plus, it was like
her.
a meta commentary on the show itself.
And then...
That's what a lot of people complain about. You know, it's the same old thing, you know.
Yeah, but it's true, though.
But it's gotten better, though.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing. This is... Once... They built up to Rick disappearing in season 9, and or his last episode. He ended up not dying. He disappeared. But those episodes, all of last season was amazing. And you knew the Whisper thing was coming. You knew all that was just building. And it was so good. And this season seems like it's just more of the same. And, you know, we've already passed this season that we're watching. And, you know, I've seen reviews and, you know, articles.
Seen anything.
Well, I haven't had anything spoiled. Believe it or not. I think it's just because the general public as a whole, as of this recording, doesn't care about The Walking Dead anywhere near the amount that they did 5 years ago.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. You got your, like, hardcore fans that are still sticking with it, and that's it.
And it's
Nobody's
a payoff.
outside of it.
It's paying off.
It is.
Because... Yeah, I'll be the first. I'm a hardcore Walking Dead fan. You know, I've read all the comics and, you know, seen all the shows up to this point. And at the same time, season 8 sucked. It did. Because I've looked back on some of our reviews, and we were giving those episodes like 5s, 6s, and 7s.
I believe that.
Because it was just... Like, you could have eliminated, like, half the episodes of that season. It was just them fighting the saviors and a bunch of loud gun battles and nothing really going on. It was just, you weren't, there was a lot of, like, writing holes and stuff, you know, where, like, they could have taken Negan out, like, 15 different times.
And they just did.
And it was just, you know. You said...
They didn't even get caught to get killed.
Yeah.
It was not one way or the other. It's just like, oh, okay.
You spent so much time yelling at the TV screen thinking, my God, you know, I could have done better than that, you know? And that was true. But we got through that. Season 9 was...
really good.
Magic. And it looks like...
They brought the scary back season 9.
Yes.
They did. They brought the scary back and the zombies back.
And it's still that way because you're just...
that way. It started off that way, and that made me so excited. I love stuff like that.
And okay, I'm going to look at the next episode real quick, just on our listings here. The next one's called "We Are the End of the World." A flashback reveals the origins of Alpha and Beta. Alpha attempts to toughen up Lydia as they prepare to walk with the dead. That sounds like...
Okay, so it's a backstory episode.
Yeah.
I am excited for that, for sure.
I am too, because the only thing I do know is I do know some of Beta's backstory, and I'm excited. I really am. This is going to be fun. On another note, they have released all of the episode names for the next 6 episodes of season 10.
Okay.
And the season, like the final finale, is called "Here's Negan," and I told you about that in a message the other day. Because the final episode, "Here's Negan," that is the name of the Negan backstory. The hardcover that I have over there, where he, it's basically his origin, like the time he was married, his wife, all the way through the beginning of the apocalypse. So I'm excited in the next several weeks to see a Negan origin story. That's going to be super fun.
Yeah.
Yep. So... What do you give this episode?
We're not even going to talk about it anymore? Like, we didn't even talk about it. You just talked about other stuff.
Oh, I never even talked about the... you
didn't talk about shit about this
satellite.
episode, really. Like,
okay.
You went off on a fucking tangent.
I did.
Like, shut up, Lonnie.
It's like Negan was in
excited.
this... Negan was in this episode for
about 5 minutes. And that's
all
I want to talk about.
That's it. We're done.
Like, I was mid-sentence, and you went on a tangent for 7 minutes. So, I don't know. But anyway...
I don't know.
Oh, Morty just fell off and hit me in the head. That's great. All right.
There was a satellite.
I lost my train of thought. I'm trying to figure out where I was to begin with.
Well,
there was a satellite.
Yeah.
That's what they kept seeing in the sky the whole time.
What do you think about the storytelling dynamic? How they showed the same time frame from like 3 different communities.
I appreciated that, and they did that and gave an update on everybody.
Yep.
As they did it.
The place caught fire.
I really love Judith telling her brother the story of their dad.
Yeah.
And calling him a brave man and this, that, and this. That was great.
You can tell they haven't told him that that's his dad.
Right.
Yeah.
That was really sweet. You know, it showed the doctor with his new baby. And he's having some PTSD.
Yeah, Sadiq was remembering the Whisperer massacre.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. They've got a... So basically, Rosita had the baby with Sadiq, has a relationship with Gabriel, and Eugene, who is totally in love with her, is there helping take care of the baby.
Yeah, he's the nanny.
Yeah, so that's...
But really and honestly, it sounds like accidental polyamory, but okay.
Yeah. I'm like, y'all just go ahead and pull the trigger, please.
Right, that's exactly what it is. It's accidental polyamory. It's grand.
I don't even know what to think.
I love how Eugene had everything down to a science with the baby.
Yeah, like...
You gotta heat this ball up for 3 minutes and 17 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Measuring it every day. It's great. I loved it.
I don't know.
He turned the music off and it started crying. He was like, what the hell's going on? And Rosita's turned the music back on and it shut up.
One thing, the choice of music was good too. Like, I'll give it that. I am kind of curious about one thing. The satellite landed and caught like half the woods on fire, and so they venture into Whisperer territory and in order to put
because everybody was, don't cross the line, but then they were like, they had to cross the line for that or the fire was going to get out of control.
Yeah, the fire was going to go everywhere.
And burn up their community.
It was probably going to burn up everybody's because they didn't know. They suspected that the Whisperers were around, but that was more of a self-preservation thing with an added bonus of helping the Whisperers out. But the Whisperers, I don't think they really care one way or the other why you're in their territory.
Here's the thing, I'm pretty certain they probably wouldn't have cared if they didn't see them.
Yeah.
However, Carol and Daryl's dumb selves go wandering off by themselves because they keep talking about running away. They're joking, but they keep talking about it because Daryl wants Carol home.
Yep.
He misses her, that sort of thing, and of course Carol's by herself and Alpha walks out to see the morning light and sees Carol, and they look each other dead in the fucking eyes. And I was like, you have got to be kidding me. It was intense, but also at the same time, it was like, of course Carol starts this. Because she'd rather tear their heads off anyway.
Yeah.
This will make her day. Like, she was just like, bitch, I dare you. And Alpha was like, you bet, bitch.
Yeah, they had a little back and forth.
That's silently.
Silently, yeah. You could see it. And that was really good nonverbal communication.
Yeah.
But, oh God, like, I don't even know. Like, Alpha creeps me out.
Oh, yeah.
Like, she's
dangerous.
A very bad person.
Very. And, like, I can't wait to see next episode, but at the same time, I'm dreading it a little bit because I feel like it's going to be a little bit traumatic because, she's toughen up Lydia, which means it's going to show her abuse.
Yeah, it will.
Because
I'm
you
sure.
we already know that she was abused.
Yeah.
You can tell by the way she acts, and you know, they have her with the little kids learning to read, and which I hate that, but I understand there's not somebody there to help her.
Yeah, because when the apocalypse started, they went off and became the Whisperers, and she was really too young for school age.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she pretty much her entire life has been.
And so she's frustrated because she has a child correct her.
Yeah.
And it's understandable, you know. I'm sure she's embarrassed.
She's about Carl's age, like what he would be.
Yeah.
Roundabout. Cause
she's a young adult, I would say.
Yeah, probably like 17 or something.
Yeah, 17 or older, and you know, that's who Negan hears that there's something going on. Like he knows something's going on, but he's not sure. And of course, he's already reached out to Lydia because she's also an outsider. Like, you know,
kindred spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the most part.
And so she's like, well, they're on alert, but what does that mean? Because she has no clue. She's literally, she's never been in the real world, really.
It's hard for her to think about right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, right now, you know, people are exposed to all kinds of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But they still have a core, like, belief system, core way of life.
Mm-hmm.
But they can be kind of turned one way or the other depending on what kind of evidence or arguments you bring to them.
Mm-hmm.
But she was immersed in a certain way of life from kindergarten age up to, she pretty much spent all of her school years under a certain way of life.
She spent her school years brainwashed and being abused by her mother.
Yeah.
That's what happened. And if that can happen now. It don't have to be the zombie apocalypse. That can happen now, and the way she is a result of that.
Yeah.
And I feel bad for her.
I think when the Whispers inevitably fall, I think it's going to be a sweet defeat. I don't think there's going to be any I don't think there's going to be any saving grace for any of them like there was with Negan and some of the saviors.
There's not. There's not.
It's a whole new animal, basically.
And that sucks, but that is what it is, you know.
Yeah.
I don't think we missed anything else. We talked about the satellite. They got some parts from the satellite.
Yeah.
They opened up with practicing at the beginning. You know, Carol came back and they had a fire.
They're mentioning Maggie.
They are.
Want to keep her in your mind.
They said they got some letters from her.
Yeah.
So,
and this was happening the end of 9 and all of this episode.
mm-hmm.
To the best of my knowledge, I don't think she appears in any of these, but she was all filming that show Whiskey Cavalier that lasted one season and didn't get picked back up. So, you know, they kept her.
Her name was in the credits.
Yeah, which is interesting because she's not appearing in the episodes. But anyway, we'll see. Because I do not know when she comes back or if she has yet or anything like that. So we'll see.
All right, I'm gonna give this episode. I'm gonna give it a 10. It was a good start. It wasn't an 11.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna give it a 10. It had a lot of story, catch up, action, lots of zombie action. Love that. The blood and the gore.
That is true. And
and they were all. Oh, we didn't mention that they went to collect seashells and they found a skin.
Oh yeah. We said they found a skin, but we didn't say exactly how.
They found a skin. Well, they found a face skin first.
Yeah.
And then they went exploring to see if maybe they had been out, and they found like a campsite that had been, ravaged, person killed or whatever, and then they found a skin hanging up too.
Oh.
Yeah, that was rough looking.
Woo.
That's.
Woo.
You know what that reminded me of?
What?
Reminded me of that scary story.
Oh, Harold.
No, don't say the name.
Oh.
God, that's scary. I don't want to think about it. Okay. All right.
Oh, good times.
What do you rate this episode?
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 10. I started to bump it down to a 9 just because I thought that the firefighting scene took a little longer than it should have.
Not really.
But, yeah, I see why they did it, so I'm going to keep it at a 10.
Because that literally, it would have been them out there fighting over all night, you know.
Do you, this is a little off topic, but do you have a all-time favorite episode of The Walking Dead? Just right offhand.
I don't think so. I mean, if I really thought about it, I probably do. But
probably if somebody was to let me know that, hey, I can just sit down and watch any episode, it would very likely be the episode where not the one where Negan appears, but the season 7 premiere where they reveal who he killed and everything.
Yeah,
because
that's a good pickup point.
The season 6 finale where he appears at the end was great, but you could skip the entire episode up to when he appears. That episode.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that episode was rough.
It was they were running back and forth and.
Yeah, constant dead ends.
Blocking them off, and really, you just want to see fucking Negan. Really.
Yeah, because you knew it was coming.
That's what it was. It you just wanted to see him. And they dragged it out, like literally.
Yeah.
And then I agree.
But when they finally revealed everything, that was like one of my favorites. The second one was when Carl was at the sanctuary with him. Season 7. Was really Negan heavy, and for that is probably like I don't know, like there was a lot of season 7 that I enjoyed regardless.
I don't know. I liked when the governor got his eye taken out.
Oh yeah, by Michonne. That was pretty. Yeah. I remember when that happened.
I have like favorite moments, but maybe not favorite episodes. So I like them all.
Yeah.
So.
They had some. Oh, zeroes me on. I guess that means it's time for us to go.
Yeah, it's time to wrap because he's thinking about jumping up there.
All right. Well, we'll be back for season 2 or season episode 2 of this season later. I'm Lonnie.
I'm Amberlicious.
We are Untitled Network. We'll see y'all next time for some more Spoiling Dead.